The book, Known and Unknown, a memoir by Donald Rumsfeld, it's out there. And does this kind of open up who you are as a person? Because I don't think people really know you as a person. They see you and have seen you at press conferences and whatnot, and kind of see you as, I don't know, a very mysterious guy, and that kind of scares people.
Well, I don't feel mysterious. I think what you see is what you get, and I think that the book, it does open up my life, my family life, my circumstance, where I came from a small town in Illinois, went to college on a scholarship, and was a wrestler and a person who loves the country and is so grateful to have had so many opportunities to serve.
It's interesting, though, because there are people who think, I mean, here's a guy who met Eisenhower as a congressman, right?
I was running for Congress, exactly.
And worked for Ford and Nixon and Reagan and both Bushes. And there's still those people out there that think, Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney are actually lizards. Literally, there's people that think they're lizards from outer space.
Yeah, that's true.
Who eat human flesh. I don't know if anybody's ever asked you directly, sir, but are you a lizard?
I don't think.
Are you actually? Can you just please give that a straight answer? Are you a lizard person?
Louis a little left-leaning.
No,
sir.
I'm not. Let him answer. Are you a lizard?
Here's the short answer. I'm in New York City. I walk down the street. People walk up, shake hands, stop me. They want an autograph. Want to get a photograph with me. Go to eat last night at dinner, and Joyce and I were sitting there in the little Italian restaurant. and a man came up and said he'd like to buy my dinner, and and it turns out I paid for my dinner. The next thing I know, the waiter comes back and said the man insisted to pay for your dinner, and here's your canceled receipt for me.
Oh, wow. That's See, there's plenty of people that...
You didn't answer the question.
He's not going to dignify...
I think you're hanging around with the wrong people.
He's not going to dignify an answer to, are you a lizard, Louis?
Why not?
Because he's not a lizard.
What is the story about getting somebody paid for your dinner? I would pay for a lizard's dinner.
I think I understood the fact that there are people out there that appreciate what he's done as a leader. And
there's plenty of evidence that this guy is a well-decorated and appreciated American, and he has more credibility than almost anybody.
Exactly.
But I just want to know if he's a lizard.
He's not a lizard. Stop it. I want to apologize, Mr. Rumsfeld. Louis C.K. is a stand-up comedian, and I do not share his ideology one iota.
These are great questions, Anthony, and they're questions that Mr. Rumsfeld is going to answer better than almost anybody in the world.
Yeah.
But I still want to know if he's a lizard.
Stop it.
If he's tasted human flesh.
No, stop.
I just want to know.
Mr. Rumsfeld, again, I want to apologize for Louis C.K. He's a stand-up comedian. He's playing at the Borgata.
It's a legitimate... Look, if he's a lizard who has eaten people...
Don't encourage him. It'll just make him worse.
I will stop the second I get a denial. I'll stop asking.
Tell Louis that my grandchildren are listening.
See?
Well, listen, they have a right to know, too.
No, he's not a lizard, and he's not tasting human flesh.
But you're answering. That's easy for you to say.
I can answer because I know the guy is a great American, a great patriot.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
He's done great things for this country. And
yes, Anthony. Is he a lizard? Is Dick Cheney a lizard?
No, they're not. They are people.
Any Mexican babies? Have they eaten any human beings?
Stop it. Stop it. I know, Mr. Rumsfeld, I apologize. Louis C.K.
I paid for this microphone, mister. I want an answer.
I don't understand it. Where do you see the where do you see the 2012 elections going? Do you see the Republicans taking the White House again? And who do you see as maybe a good front runner for the Republicans?
Mm-hmm. They're going to get put in difficult positions, and we're going to then be able to see how their brains work, how they react, how they handle things, what kind of people they recruit for their campaign team, how effective they are in organizing. And all of those are attributes that are helpful for a president.
Before the Lizard Council meets and decides who to appoint.
The Lizard Council doesn't appoint a president, and he's not part of the Lizard Council.
If they do, don't you want to know?
No.
Don't you at least want to give him a chance to say, no, I'm not a lizard?
I don't want to picture Donald Rumsfeld on the other end of this phone listening to you asking
with red lizard eyes.
No, he's not with Mr. Rumsfeld. Again, with the 2012 elections, wouldn't it be good to, and I always wonder why this doesn't happen sooner, to start really grooming a good candidate?
Like
now?
when you met, there's a picture of you shaking hands with Saddam Hussein. Like, what was that day like? The day you met that dude.
Oh, that famous picture.
The dude who later was hung in a badly lit room.
I tried to tell Louis that was indeed during the time when he was an ally.
I'm just curious what that day was like.
And was, okay.
I'm just curious, what was that like to meet that fella?
Fair enough.
Well, it was. I was in Baghdad at the request of President Reagan, and I kind of described this in my book. I met the night before with Tariq Assis, the deputy prime minister, and then the next morning I was invited in to be with Saddam Hussein. And the reason that Secretary Shultz and President Reagan and I all agreed that it made sense was Saddam Hussein was in a war with Iran and had taken our embassy people hostage and was very hostile to the United States. The United States did not have diplomatic relations with Iraq, and the thought was that we, you know, the old adage, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
How did we manage to get crossways with the two big countries in that region, both of them, and yet they were hostile to each other?
Right.
So we felt that it was a good idea to see if we could reestablish relations, and that ultimately was done shortly after my visit. Now, what was it like? You walk in, there's a Middle Eastern despot. Is he a good guy or a Democrat? No. He's a thug, and he's in fatigues, and he's got a pistol on his hip. And he's a tough guy and not a good guy. On the other hand, people in Iran were worse. And when you get up in the morning and look around the world, you know, there are not a lot of George Washingtons or Abraham Lincolns. We have to deal with people who aren't perfect on occasion.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to tell Louis.
And then, so how many guys do you think you've met that died by hanging?
Oh, Jesus.
That's a good question.
Yeah, more than one.
Yeah. More than one.
More than one. See?
Yeah. I've never met anybody who... I met a girl who hung herself. I've never met anybody who was sentenced to hang.
He's had to deal with thugs during his career at some point.
Sure.
He's, you know, the world... And a lot of people judge things, I've noticed, Mr. Rumsfeld, a lot of people judge things based on what's going on now. They don't take it in the context of the history and what was going on at the time.
Intelligence gathering activities if we're going to protect the American people.
Exactly.
But what, like, hey, American safety is like the biggest deal to us. American defense. We've got to keep the American people safe. But what if a whole lot of people in other places have to die in order for us to be safe? Like, what if you found out that a lot of America was going to get hurt unless we just took France and just wiped it out? Would you trade France?
Hypothetical.
Would you trade France for Texas and Arizona?
Can you imagine if I answered that question?
Thank you.
What the news lead would be?
Exactly.
It would be like the answering your earlier question, where I would deny that I'm something that you asked me.
Right. He's not going to deny he's a lizard.
But he hasn't officially denied it.
What would be hurt by denying that you're a lizard?
I did not just arrive in town falling off a turnip.
There are no turnip carts in New York City.
Well, he didn't fall off of one.
No, I totally understand. But no, that's fascinating to me. What would be hurt by denying? And I'm not going to ask you to deny it now. I'm more interested in what would be hurt if you denied that you're a lizard.
He's justifying the question.
Sorry I brought it up. I apologize.
But that is fascinating to me, that saying I am not a lizard might be dangerous. I want to know how it might hurt. How would it hurt your credibility?
This happened.
How did this happen?
There's a guy laughing in the background that is looking up our addresses now.
Mr. Rumsfeld, notice that Anthony Cumia is I am right behind you. I love your book, Donald Rumsfeld, Known and Unknown Memoir, in bookstores now. This thing really flying off the shelves,
too. What I have a problem with is if unions end up exerting an undue influence in what's taking place in our country and stopping the United States of America from participating in free trade agreements around the world, which are the kinds of things that help to create jobs.
Yeah, that's not a good...
But if the jobs are in other places and what... I mean, if the United States is getting to compete, who is the United States at that point? Is it General Electric and you know, Walmart? Or is it actual people who live in these places like Wisconsin who are asking to be able to sue for their own rights as a union?
Well, you know, if the governor up there, I'm not knowledgeable about Wisconsin. I'm from New Mexico.
What type of aircraft did you fly?
I was flying, the last plane I flew was an F-2F, which was a Grumman anti-submarine plane.
Oh, that's cool.
Did you have more capability to fly it because of your lizard reflexes?
Stop it.
I've got a thought for you.
Okay, good.
Folks are looking for a present for friends of yours. I spent 8 days recording the unabridged version of my book.
Very strong advocate of the Second Amendment. I'm a lifetime member of the NRA. Are you a member of the NRA?
I'm not sure if I am right now. I have been, and I think I am.
And are you an avid shooter? Because I am, and I love it.
I have guns. I have rifles and shotguns and pistols and at various locations, and I'm an elk hunter out in New Mexico.
So you're a strong advocate of the Second Amendment, as I am, sir.
Have you ever shot a person?
No.
No.
That's a great question.
I think everybody should be asked that.
No one have you shot a person?
Shot some? He was the Secretary of Defense. He was in charge of everybody that America killed for a very long time.
Oh, stop it.
I've been shot at. Does that count?
He's been shot at. That's crazy.
Like President Ford, when the bullet went right by his head and right by my head into the hotel in San Francisco.
Wow. Yeah. That was that crazy.
Were you ever shot at with any other, besides bullets, like plasma rays or anything else that are used space to take down?
Would you stop it, Louis?
Flesh-eating space lizards.
My God, man.
Who eat the poor.
Donald Rumsfeld, Known and Unknown, a memoir. I suggest anybody that's interested in the history of this fine country and the history of a patriot and this fine man, go out and buy this book. Thank you, Donald Rumsfeld. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoy being with you.
I'm pretty sure you're a lizard.
Sir. He's not a lizard. Stop it.
Thank you, sir. He ate people once.
Select your partners carefully.
I'm trying. I'm trying. There he is, Donald Rumsfeld. Quick, hang up the phone. Oh, my God. Oh, my dear sweet Jesus.
I can't believe you didn't let him answer.
Why did you keep... Because he wasn't ever going to answer.
Why not just
I'm not a lizard.
Hear his not answering. At least hear the silence of the not answering.
He said I wouldn't answer that because
I didn't get to hear because you kept talking with other questions over him not answering.
Sit there and listen to the former Secretary of Defense try to defend that he's not a lizard. Why wouldn't you?
Why?
Because
why wouldn't you want to live that moment?
Because first of all, he's not a lizard.
Why do you want to be baby CNN instead of the only show that finally got the guy to say, okay, look, I'm going to finally say something about this lizard shit. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm not a lizard per se.
No, he said he wasn't going to dignify it. He said if he said yes or no.
That could have been a recording. What we just see. It could have been a dude playing like those prank calls.
No, it was Donald Rumsfeld.
But the thing got interesting when we asked him if he was lizard. It put a hitch in his giddy up.
Look, you know what? He handled it like a gentleman and like a professional.
He handled it like a lizard who knows how to never answer.
No.